Introducing Julius, a cutting-edge tool designed to be your personal AI data analyst. Julius leverages different large language models to write Python code and R to perform data analysis, creating graphs, solving math problems, and much more. Think of Julius as an expert data scientist and software engineer rolled into one, allowing you to complete data and research workflows in a fraction of time and with far less frustration. Now let's revisit Devon. Devon from Cognition Labs proposed a tool that can act as an AI software developer and data scientist that's capable of analyzing and processing data. The catch, Devon isn't available yet, whereas Julius, on the other hand, is ready for you to use today. And it doesn't just stop there at data analysis. Julius can write code too, a feature we're going to be showcasing shortly. Now, this is something that we're going to be exploring throughout today's video, and I want you to take a look at this demo video from the founder who provides more insights on Julius.
Hi, I'm Rahul, founder of Julius. Julius is an AI data analyst that helps you analyze datasets, get insights from your data, and create really good looking data visualizations. We launched about a year ago, and since then have crossed 500,000 users. Thousands of people using Julius every day. And as of this week, Julius writes and executes over 1 million lines of code without you needing to be an expert coder. I'll show you how. So here I have this data set of US agricultural exports for the year 2011. And I'm going to load this data into Julius. You can load CSV files, Excel files, PDFs, images, pretty much any kind of data that you have, and have the AI analyze it for you. Now, you can switch between Python and R. That's the programming language that the AI will use to do your analysis. Whether you're an expert in programming or not, you can have the AI use certain language that better suits your needs. If you don't know what you're doing, you can just go with Python. But if you're doing statistical analysis or research, R is better for that. In this case, I'm going to load this data, and what I can do is select certain columns of the data or part of the data that I want to focus on. In my case, I'm just going to give the AI the whole data set, and I'm going to say, load this data for me. And what's happening under the hood is that the AI has access to a cloud sandbox where it can write that code for you, run it, and give you the insights and the analysis that you're looking for. So I asked the AI to load the data. It went ahead and did it for me. Now what I can do is I can either let the AI recommend me some things I can try with the data, or I can just tell it what I want. So I'm going to say, hey, I want to know what are the top beef producing states. Can you show me the top 5 in a visualization? Also include the bottom 5. Let's see what it comes back with. This is kind of a long question. I'm asking it for 3 things. And my hope is that the AI can parse that into a result, write some code, and then give me that result in the form of a data visualization so I can visually understand the information I have. So it looks like Texas produces the most beef, followed by Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and then Iowa. It looks like Rhode Island doesn't make much beef, which kind of makes sense to me. I've only driven through Rhode Island once, and it kind of checks out. I don't remember seeing any cows. Now, whether you are an expert in coding or not, what you can do is click on the code and still get a simple English explanation of what the code does. So you can verify the logic, you can validate whether the AI did what you wanted to do or not. And in this case, it can tell us it's looking for the beef column and then selecting the top 5 and bottom 5 states by beef production, and then combining them into a bar chart. That logic pretty much checks out to me. Now, if I do know code, what I can also do is click on edit code and go and make some changes to the code, some things I want the AI to do, and then click save changes, and then it will basically rerun the code and give you the desired output. So I hope you like using Julius.
Now, wasn't that amazing? This is something that we're going to be exploring throughout today's video. So with that thought, guys, stay tuned and let's get straight into the video to explore what you can do with Julius. Hey, what is up, guys? Welcome back to another YouTube video at the World of AI. In today's video, we're going to be taking a look at Julius, which is basically your personal AI data analyst. Now, This is something where you can basically have it analyze different charts and graphs where you can create sleek looking data visualizations. For example, you can see in this image over here where you're going to be able to create various sorts of graphs as well as bar charts with the help of Julius. You can utilize the insights tool within Julius, which is going to allow you to ask anything to your data and get answers. You're going to be able to talk to your data. You're going to have advanced analysis where you can perform modeling and predictive forecasting, which is something that is really useful for data scientists. You have problem solving with the help of Julius, where you can scan and solve math, physics, as well as chemistry problems. And lastly, you're going to have the ability to generate published analysis and summaries through reports. And this is with the help of Julius. And the great thing is that you can access all of this within one platform. The great thing with Julius is that it has multiple different use cases where you can basically learn how to use Julius in various ways. For marketing, for example, you can utilize it for personal use cases, for healthcare, economics. You can utilize it in your business and so many other ways where you can transform your data with the help of AI that Julius provides. So let's get started. What I want you guys to do is go over to julius.ai and click on start a chat. This is where you're going to then be able to create an account by signing up with your own email account or with Google or Apple. Once you have done that, we'll be then sent over to the dashboard. And then we'll be sent over to the dashboard of Julius. Now, before we get into explaining any of this, I want to basically take a look at the example of what we're going to be doing with Julius. Now, this is where I'm going to be taking data from Kaggle, and this is where we're going to be getting large language model data, where it's going to talk about every major large language model and chatbot released since 2018 with parameters, tokens, and etc. It is going to categorize the data columns as models, company, etc. And what we're going to be doing with this is where we're going to be infusing this data by simply downloading this, and we're going to be infusing it into Julius. So let's now add our data into Julius. This is your dashboard, by the way, and this is where you're going to be able to manage all your chats. This is where you're going to be able to link Google Sheets as well as adding any sort of files. So I have actually already added my spreadsheet. So what you can do is simply add in by clicking on the upload file button, and you're going to be able to add multiple different files over here. If you go to the model lab, you're going to be able to test out different models with your data. So you get better responses with different models, and you can basically test this out to see which one works for you best. Now, if you are to go to the community forums, this is a great way for you to chat with community members, a part of Julius, to see what works, what sort of prompts do well with your data. And this is a great way for you to collaborate with others. Now, if we go back to Julius, let us go back to the chat, or by clicking on new chat, and we can basically have it so that you can click on the default model. You can select various tools such as code, search, as well as model chat. On the top right, you can switch between Python as well as choosing Command R. Now, one thing to note is that you can actually access Julius completely for free, where you're going to be able to get 15 messages, or like basically 15 chat interactions a month, which is something that you can basically get a better feel as to what Julius is. If you like it, then you can upgrade your plan, which I truly recommend. But if you don't, you can basically head off with something else. But this is a great way for you to experiment with Julius to see what the tool is able to do. So first things first, I'm going to actually clean the data that we have uploaded so that we can get better insights on this. So what you can do is basically add the data that we have connected by going to my files and then uploading the file that we have connected into this chat tab. What we're going to do now is have Julius clean up the data. So we're going to ask, can you please clean up the data for me? And we're going to click enter. Within a couple seconds, it's going to first start off by uploading the data that we have infused. It's going to examine it. It's going to write the Python code for whatever we're basically working with in terms of the data. It's going to then work on uploading and loading the data, and it's going to take the steps to basically start cleaning up your data that you had uploaded. And we can see within a couple seconds, it's going to first figure out what sort of things are missing, what it's going to do to basically resolve this. And you can see that it's going to even fix errors for you. And within a couple of seconds, we should be able to get the cleaned up data format. And look at that. It has now cleaned up our data, and it has written even the Python code for it. You can see that it has also filled out the missing values. It has also given us the code, and it demonstrates what it was able to do. Now, you can even export this so that you can utilize it for various other use cases. And you can even try other things where you can basically let me know if you would like to proceed with any specific analysis or further cleaning. you can see over here what are the summary statistics for the ratio column. So if you are to click on this, it will then provide a summary on the ratio column. You can even visualize the distribution of the ratio column, where if you are to click on this, it's going to then process the data in a visualization format. It will even write the code for it so that you can even utilize it in other ways. Now, I was able to get an output that is going to display the parameters of various large language models, and we can see all the large language models up to the date. Now, you can get an interactive bar graph, which is going to showcase the data sets as well as various other components, but you can also get a static image as well. So now what we're going to do is we're going to basically put in this prompt where we're going to perform modeling and predictive forecasting with Julius on this data set. We're going to enter this prompt in, and let's see how well it's going to be able to execute this command. And there you go. You have the output where it was able to perform modeling and predictive forecasting on this data set, and it was able to do various sorts of steps where it was able to process the data, feature selection, model selection, as well as model training, evaluation, and forecasting. So what it did is that it started off with the data processing. It utilized the sample rows within the data that we had provided. It was able to provide the data info, and it had even give us a descriptive statistic. Now, it observed a couple things, it provided the next steps, and it gave us an output for the basic regression model as well as a summary as to what we were able to output from this forecasting. Now, there's so much more to this, and I truly recommend that you take a look at Julius because it will definitely revolutionize the way you chat with your data. I'll leave a link to this in the description below so that you can get started with it right away. But with that thought, guys, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video and you got some sort of value out of it. I'll leave a link to the Patreon link in the description below so that you can access different subscriptions completely for free, as well as joining a private Discord. I definitely recommend that you join and follow our Twitter account. This is a great way for you to stay up to date with the latest AI news that we continuously post on a daily basis. And lastly, make sure you guys subscribe, turn on the notification bell, like this video, and check out our previous videos so you can stay up to date with the latest AI news. But with that thought, guys, have an amazing day, spread positivity, and I'll see you guys really shortly. Peace out, fellas.